Hello sister, welcome to the beginning of your routine. I see that you've selected a natural glowy base for me today. Honestly, thank you so much. I love a good glam every now and then, but I really feel like the natural makeup is where it's at. So we're just going to jump right into that today, and I'm going to teach you guys how to just look fresh and beautiful, just like you are.
6-inch pumps, play with his balls, dunks, bow head.
Now, when I say a glowy base, of course you can always add highlighter at the end of your routine to make yourself literally glow. But for me personally, I think of a natural base as more like a glowing from within type of look. And that effect basically comes from using a lot of really hydrating products, such as liquids, creams, stuff like that, rather than a ton of powder. Of course, we're still gonna set everything in place so we don't melt off in the hot spring, summer heat, but we're just gonna get right in and we're gonna go in with a nice moisturizer. Now for me, I love the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, but this one is definitely a little bit pricey. So any just really good hydrating moisturizer will do. The Tatcha one is great. I know e.l.f. has a really good moisturizer as well for an affordable option. Anything that you really like that's gonna keep your skin hydrated underneath all the makeup and glowing all day long. Now, normally I would just go right into that foundation, but I have been dealing with some pretty bad acne breakouts for the past couple of weeks. It's definitely cleared up quite a lot. I don't really know what is going on. I was doing a lot of traveling between going to Vegas and then Mexico and then Coachella. I had an amazing time, but clearly my skin did not. So before I go into the foundation, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of a full coverage concealer, and I'm just gonna dot right over top of any of those blemishes, just so that way they're a little bit more hidden, because we are going to be using a little bit more of a light coverage base today. Once those spots are all lightly blended in, I'm gonna go in next with a liquid illuminator, not a liquid highlighter. They are definitely not the same thing. Okay, we do not want like full on glitter, glowing chunks underneath our foundation. We just want a product that has a little bit of light reflection, and I really like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, I think it is. It's just basically like a liquid illuminating product. So I'm just gonna go right in on the high points of my face, like the cheekbones right here, just like this. Basically anywhere where you would kind of put your highlighter at the end of your routine, we're gonna focus right up in here. So for my foundations today, I'm gonna grab the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. This is in the shade and we're just gonna blend this right in. And next I'm gonna grab the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wands. Now, any sort of like liquid contour will work. This is my personal favorite. So I'm just gonna grab my little contour wand and just do a few little dots that we're gonna blend out. Now, last but not least, we're just gonna grab a little bit of cream blush. This one is from Patrick Ta. Once again, any sort of cream blush in a color that you love will work. Now I'm just gonna dip into this powder with a little brush, and I'm just going to focus this on any areas that are gonna get really oily. So definitely the T-zone, because for me, that is one of my worst oil production places. Okay, now for blush today, I actually have a really interesting technique that I'm excited to show you guys. I feel like if you've been following the makeup community for a long time now, you're a beauty guru lover, and you learned how to do makeup from beauty gurus, honestly, like I did myself. We've always been taught to do powders over top of creams and liquids because that's kind of how the formulas work best together. And that is true, but I have been trying something different with blush recently that has kind of been the opposite, but looks so good. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what I do. So basically, I'm just gonna grab once again, this Patrick Ta blush, cream, and powder duo, and I'm gonna grab the powder product first. And then once that blush is on there, I'm just gonna give my face a quick spritz of setting spray just to kind of melt together all the powders that we've used so far. Obviously not that much, but we really wanna make sure that everything is nice and dewy as possible. And then I'm gonna go back in with that blush product one more time, and I'm gonna dip into the cream blush on top. It is gonna look crazy, okay? It's going to look crazy, I'm well aware.
You are so crazy. You're crazy, actually. I'm just letting you know, okay? In case you weren't sure. Anyway.
It will dull down throughout the makeup process, don't you worry. I've noticed that this looks better in person because the cream really makes it look like natural skin. And I mean, look at the glow. It still gives you that like highlighter type of look, but it looks so much more natural, especially in photos. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed, instead of having like that chunky glitter type of look. All right, you guys, so the last step that I consider a process of this glowy base is going to be our brows. And we're gonna use some very different products than normal for this technique, but it's gonna look so good in the end. The first one being the Patrick Ta Brow Sculpting Gel. Now, if you don't have this, it's totally fine. I know Anastasia also makes the brow freeze. And also, if you have a clear bar of soap, it will also work the exact same way, because this technique is actually called soap brows. So what we're going to do is just grab our little wax brow thing just like this, and we're just gonna give it a little bit of a spritz of any sort of like setting spray or liquid. And then we're just gonna grab our spoolie and we're just going to dig right in to the wax. And then once we have that wax on there, we're just gonna go right in and start brushing our brow hairs upwards. And then once they're all in place, I'm just gonna grab the top of the spoolie just like this and use it to tuck in any hairs that are sticking out way too tall. Just like that. That looks so good. And now this tool I actually have from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's like came with the brow freeze, but it's basically just like a little flat spatula. I'm just gonna grab this and I'm just going to push in the brow hairs so they lay flat to my face. All right, you guys, so now that the brows are all on, I think that is pretty much our dewy, natural, and glowy base all complete. This is what the skin is looking like so far, and it's looking very radiant, like a glow from within, as opposed to, you know, caked on makeup, which is nothing wrong with, okay? Just a different adventure that you guys did not choose for today. Speaking of, obviously we still have quite a lot of makeup left in this routine to do, and therefore our adventure is going to continue, but first you have to make your next choice. Now, if you're liking how this makeup is looking so far, and you like your routine to be fast, easy, but still effortlessly beautiful, click right over here. Or if you like a dewy base, but you still like to follow makeup trends and you want a little bit of a pop of color in your life, click right over here. What are you gonna pick? Come on. Let's go.